Yo, what to do, YouTube? Today I got y'all 5 elite loadouts you guys need to be using. So if you enjoyed today's video, let's break 200 likes. Make sure y'all subscribe, those notifications turned on, and let's get into it. All right, so for our first gun here today, we're gonna be getting into the Ames 85. I always feel like there's 2 different ways to pronounce it. I personally don't really care. I'm calling it the Ames 85. Deal with it. So first thing we're gonna do here is we're gonna go into the magazine section and we're gonna go throw on the extended mag 2 because like, this is what you do. It's a primary assault rifle. You're gonna use this for long range. You're gonna go through on this thing, and that is just kind of how you do it. You want to throw on extended mag 2. After that, underbarrel section, you guys want to keep is real simple. Throw on the vertical foregrip. I mean, it's the move, right? Like you always throw on the vertical. There's no reason to go throw on like the G grip or something like that. It's not like it's going to be better in any way, shape, or form. Like it genuinely will not be better. So just throw on the vertical foregrip. Get help unlocking Dark Matter, Abyss, and Nebula camos in Black Ops 6 with Mitch Cactus. They're absolutely the biggest and most reliable in Call of Duty right now. Whether you want something across multiplayer, zombies, or Warzone, they're completely legitimate for all platforms. They're super trusted by the community, and you may have seen them all over YouTube, and that's for good reason. They'll unlock all your camos, augments, and more without needing to lift a finger. With over 17,000 reviews and thousands of personalized vouchers, they're the go-to for all things in Call of Duty. Use code CHUCK at checkout for 5% off. Barrel section, this is where you can kind of have a little bit of fun with it. So you can see the gain twist barrel here. We can see it gets us out to 1,232 meters a second, which is honestly quite nice. That's really awesome. So you can run the gain twist barrel. I would avoid the long barrel because you can see your bullet velocity right up there above my face cam is pretty trash. We want it to be over 1,000 meters a second. And then you can see the reinforced barrel, which is something that I'd recommend for something like Rebirth Island. Gets you to 43.3 meters of damage range and 1,000 meters or over 1,000 meters a second in bullet velocity. So you can technically run the gain twist or the reinforced. I would say probably the gain twist is your better option just because bullet velocity is going to probably matter more than getting a couple extra meters of damage range. So go for the gain twist. Muzzle section, we're going to go through on the compensator. I have tried running this actually with the mono suppressor, and believe it or not, you can very much so do this. And depending on the site you choose, like you can have some fun with it, but it will be harder to control at those like probably 60 to 70 plus meter range. So like obviously you got your close range dummy, your medium one, and then your other one, which is like 50 meters. Past that 50 meter dummy, that's where it starts getting a little bit difficult. And it's like if you want to be able to hit shots past that when people are moving, it gets a little bit difficult. So kind of keep that in mind. You can do it, but overall I'd recommend the compensator. It's may not give you the most range or more range, but it makes you actually hitting those shots, like it makes hitting those shots easier. So it's like it becomes more effective because you can actually hit your shots at that distance as opposed to missing your shots at that distance. So I'd recommend the compensator. Optic section though, for the last thing in here, you can kind of go relatively speaking for whatever you want. So I'll just kind of break this all down for you. I'd recommend basically go from like a Willis 3 times and then like on up here, like that is essentially all you need to do. Like choose whatever in here you want. I just accidentally landed on the Dobrich MF Reflex. And this is actually a great reflex. I have loved actually using this one here a little bit more recently. The Volziski is really solid. You guys can use that, and you can use the Kepler Microflex. Those are just a few of my like actual reflex recommendations. And then pretty much after that, I'm using the Jason Armory or the Willis. I really don't mess with a lot of these other ones like the Otero and the Kepler. Don't really find a need for them. So kind of choose whatever you want to run. I normally speaking go for some type of red dot because I primarily play Rebirth. So I like to go for that. And then I go here to the customize tab and I change my reticle to the blue dot, which is very, very nice. Highly recommend y'all do that. So that's my full build. Next up is going to be a build here for the Ladra. This is undoubtedly one of, if not the fastest TTK SMGs in the entire game. You can see the fire rate is absolutely ridiculous here at 1,071 rounds per minute. So it's like super awesome like that. But we're gonna get here and show you guys how to build it out. So of course, you know, with that season 5 update, of course, the LC10 got nerfed, you know, rightfully so. The LC10 was like the most dominant, easy to use SMG ever. So it was kind of good that we got some, you know, a nerf to that, some buffs to the other SMGs. So we have some more variety, but this one is definitely kind of taking up that top spot. So I'd recommend basically going here for Extended Mag 2. You actually can get away with Extended Mag 1. Like that's perfectly fine. You can see 55 rounds in a mag. Like that's all right. Like that is actually, that's not all right. That's great. So you can definitely run that and not feel like you're missing out on anything. So Extended Mag 1 is fine and Extended Mag 2 is going to be great. definitely go ahead and run one of those two, and the rest of the build will be perfectly okay with either or. Now into the underbarrel section, we'll just keep this very simple. We're going to go throw on the Ranger foregrip here. This is going to help us with our horizontal recoil control and our sprinting movement speed. Something that I really like about this is that, like, the gun feels very agile and mobile, and honestly, the recoil is pretty manageable. Like, it's not like it requires a compensator of some sort. So I like to go for the Ranger because I want to move faster, and I also want the recoil control. I don't really care to go for the vertical foregrip. Not my cup of tea, but if you want to, you definitely can. There's not going to be any sort of, like, you know, I'm not going to have like a gripe against it until you don't build it out like that. I'm just going to tell you that I think the Ranger will be more effective as long as you have some thumbs. Like, obviously, it's not going to be literal zero recoil, but it's going to be pretty close. Barrel section, what y'all want to do is go in here and throw on the long barrel. This is going to get you out to 16.8 meters. I know the reinforced barrel gets you out to 14.9. It gets you a faster bullet velocity, but overall, I still think the long barrel just is a lot better. You really don't need that. Like, at the range we are using this, keep this in mind. So the range we're using this, we're using it for like the first dummy, maybe to the second dummy in the firing range, because that's like the 25 meter mark. Like, you're not using it for basically past 20 meters. Like, you're really not. And at that point, because you can see the TTK when you go from the first dummy to the second one is so much slower, just pull out your AR. Like, do that. Like, pull out your long range gun. So you want to use the long barrel just because that makes your damage range faster, and also we don't feel the bullet velocity because at the range we're using it, it is hit scan. That's the other thing I was going to say. So we don't really care as much about getting that bullet velocity increase as we do for just having the extra range, you know, which is going to be fine. So go for the long barrel exclusively, I'd recommend. Rear grip section, of course, we're going to go through on the ergonomic grip, dive to fire, slide to fire, ADS speed, and jumping aimed out sight speed. I mean, this is the bee's knees right here. Y'all want to go for this. I recommend this on every single SMG. Truthfully, I don't use anything else on SMGs. Like, it's not broke, so don't fix it. Like, as much as you want to get creative with it, you're not going to find something better. So just go and throw on the ergonomic grip and run it like that. I'm not going to tell y'all something like to use that's bad. Like, believe me, I want to use the best loadouts, and these are the loadouts I use and that I want to drop my high kill games with. So, like, I'm not going to give y'all something bad, right? Next up, though, last up is going to be the stock, which is going to be basically either the infiltrator or the balance stock. Kind of a little bit up to you personal preference wise what you want to use. I think I'd recommend the infiltrator stock here because I'm not going to lie, you feel real dirty using the infiltrator stock. Like, it's kind of ridiculous. Like, you feel great using it, how fast you can ADS and move and glide around. Like, it's real nice. So I recommend the infiltrator. Makes you a harder target to hit. Also improves your rotational aim assist because you're ADSing, and then when you move and you actually, you know, when you move sideways and stuff like that, that actually does help you, like, with your rotational aim assist quite significantly. Allows you to hit more shots. So I'd slap that on there, and that right there can be your full build. All right, next up, fellas, I got to give y'all a build here for the GPR 91. Basically one of the fastest TTK ARs for Rebirth Island. Still really, really good for Verdansk. I believe it's probably still the #1 for Verdansk at the moment, but just different set of attachments. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to hop in here and give y'all a build, and that's going to be, well, a magazine attachment, and that's going to be Extended Mag 2. Like, this is pretty standard. One of my only gripes with the GPR is the magazine reload. I wish it was a little bit faster. Kind of pisses me off that it's not a little bit faster, but it is what it is. You can't have the absolute perfect AR. I mean, if it was perfect, then it'd probably be overpowered. No one would use anything else. But it is still the bee's knees. So you want to go ahead and use Extended Mag 2. Underbarrel section, we keep this real simple, fellas. We keep it real simple. Vertical foregrip. Is there anything else better in here? No. Is the G grip, the attachment they added in at some point in one of the seasons, kind of useless compared to the Ranger and the vertical? Yes. So we don't really ever use the G grip. It's not beneficial. Just go ahead and use the vertical foregrip. After that, in barrel section, this is where it gets to be a little bit of a differentiation between Verdansk and Rebirth Island. So on Verdansk, I'd recommend the gain twist barrel. Obviously, because this pushes you out to 1,218 meters a second. Obviously, bigger map, more distance. You want your bullets to fly faster and be able to hit their targets, as opposed to maybe just having a little bit more damage range and having less bullet velocity. So on Rebirth, the reinforced barrel, you can totally use that and get away with it, but I would not really recommend using the reinforced barrel on Verdansk. So, and also just to put it out there, I do use the gain twist even on Rebirth, so that works out great too, just to throw it out there. But gain twist, reinforced, this is your big map barrel, this is like your Rebirth barrel, You can still use the gain twist and the reinforce on rebirth. That's just to kind of sum it all up. But my choice is the gain twist. Muzzle section, y'all definitely gonna want to go for the compensator on this one. This is still kind of exactly like the Ames or Ames, like I said, I don't really care what you call it, but this is like that gun where it's got the recoil, you have to compensate for it. You know, no pun intended talking about the compensator, but like you just got to do it. So we're gonna go through on the compensator. There are other ways to kind of build this thing out where you can have a little bit of fun using the mono suppressor, but in terms of giving y'all just an all-around really good build that you can dominate with at distance, the compensator in this build is going to be the move. Lastly, optic section. So this is where it also depends on what map you're playing. Same kind of core principles apply to this as really any AR. I'd recommend to go basically from the Willis 3 times on down, or on up, I should say here. So if you're playing Verdansk, throw on like the Willis, throw on the Jason Armory. That'll help you with your recoil and you'll see farther. And that's great. And especially in combination with the gain twist barrel, you guys are going to be taken care of. So you can slap either of those two on there. This is also good for Rebirth Island. Putting that out there, it's perfectly fine. Use that. And then largely speaking, I'll go in here and use something like the Volziski Reflex because it's so nice, so clear, so easy to be able to see through. You can definitely go and use that, and that'll be great as well for Rebirth. So that's like my preference right there. I'll slap it on there. Go to the Customize tab here, of course, and throw on the blue dot, red dot sights. And that right there is your full build. All right, so next up is going to be the C9, aka MP5. This is a really good SMG. Love using this thing. And it's really, really solid. If you're going to be using the Landra, if you're going to be using this, like you're going to be fully taken care of. But let's get into it. So, of course, y'all are going to want to use a extended mag 2 on this thing. Pretty standard, pretty simple. Just run the extended mag 2. No real reason to go down here for the 10 mil auto, even though it says it increases your damage range, bullet velocity, damage, all that sort of fun jazz. It doesn't do it better than like just having the regular mag on there. There's not as enough of an offset in terms of the increase in your damage, bullet velocity, and damage range to actually make it significantly better. It honestly is about even because it decreases your fire rate. So you got more damage, but you lost fire rate. So it's like, it's not really doing anything for you. So you just want to go for extended mag 2 and be okay. Also, you only got 30 rounds in the mag. That's not good for trios and quads. Like maybe for solos, you could get away with a 30 round mag, but even then that's still like not advised. So I just wouldn't recommend even using it at all. It's like, I hate how they added in attachments this year that have been kind of borderline useless. Like the G grip, for instance, down here, useless. Like it's not good for anything in particular. So it's like for this build, you just want to use like the Ranger foregrip. So just go ahead and throw on the Ranger foregrip. If you feel like the recoil is kind of beating your ass a little bit at distance, then just kind of like throw on the vertical foregrip and you'll be good to go. I know the C9 has like very easy to control recoil and all of a sudden starts wobbling around doing some real funny business. So you can slap on the vertical and kind of mitigate that for the most part. But after that, if it's really still, you know, beating you, then you want to like probably work on your aim a little bit and your recoil control capabilities. So vertical, my recommendation is Ranger because I like sliding, gliding around, and this is a close range SMG. Barrel section, y'all just gonna want to go for the long barrel on this thing. 18.2 meters of damage range, slightly diabolical, really good. So I'm telling y'all right now, this is indeed the move right here. Slap that on there. Don't even think twice about it. You don't need nothing else. Throw on the long barrel. After that, rear grip section. I mean, listen, did we watch the video earlier? I hope you guys are still watching. Ergonomic grip. I ain't got to explain this one to y'all. Lastly, in the stock section, right here, we're going to go for the Infiltrator stock. Listen, this right here is wicked good. I've been loving the Infiltrator recently. You can 100% go for the balance stock. This is like another fantastic option on the C9. But my preference recently has been the Infiltrator, and it's just like awesome sauce. Also, one real cool thing about this exact build is that this is part of a blueprint. So this exact build is a blueprint. And last but certainly not least, one of my like favorite ARs to use is indeed going to be the FFAR1. So this is a really solid AR, a crazy fast TTK, really solid to use overall. Recoil is pretty manageable. It can get you a little bit, but as long as you got some thumbs or you got the ability to use your hand, you know, because you got your whole arm on mouse and keyboard, you should be able to be fine. So of course, extended mag 2, I also like the reload speed on this thing, pretty fast. Honestly, it's like you really don't notice having extended mag 2 on here as like a detractor Whereas something like the GPR kind of pisses you off reload wise, like this really ain't gonna do that. So really solid to have that. Under barrel section, you want to keep it real simple. Vertical foregrip. This is indeed the move. Barrel section, a couple options in here, realistically speaking. So gain twist barrel can still be perfectly fine and hit like a truck. Honestly, try this out for yourself. See if you like it. This would be primarily a bigger map barrel, but I still use it all the time on Rebirth. But I will say that having the extra damage range, it does feel better on this thing, because that's pretty substantial. 41.9 to 54.5. It's not like it's the Amy's or something like that, where it's like 39 to like 42 or something. Like, that's a pretty sizable difference. So I'd say, relatively speaking, the Reinforce is going to feel better to majority people out there. The Gain Twist is still acceptable. So I just say probably stick with the Reinforce, because it will hit harder. Like, it will be noticeable. Muzzle section, compensator here. I have ran the mono suppressor on this. I'm gonna keep it stacked. It will, that recoil is definitely gonna kick up. Like, it will be that initial bout of recoil, and then it will stabilize. But you're still gonna be fighting it basically the entire way through. So if you can't really, you know, fight it, obviously not that great to do. But it is still really cool to have like a stupid damage range and bullet velocity. Makes the gun real fun to use, but I mean, obviously you got to pay the price recoil wise for that. So I'd recommend the compensator. Lastly, optic section. This is one gun where I would probably strictly recommend to use a red dot sight of some sort on it, not for a 2 or 3 times. So my go-to is always the Volziski. I really also like the Dobrich, is really solid. Kepler Microflex is really good too. You can really kind of run whatever you want. It's not like there's going to be one bad red dot sight. At least that's a good thing about these, is that it's not like, oh, you have to use this one or you're going to be totally, you know, out of luck, or you're just like down bad. You can kind of use whatever you want. Some of them obviously are going to be like less ideal, like this thing, not going to be as ideal, right? But overall, I'd recommend y'all just to go for a standard red dot sight that does not increase the magnification, and you'll be good to go. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go for the Volziski. Of course, do my natural blue dot to red dot conversion. And that's going to be that. That's my full video. That's my top 5, guys. Enjoyed it? Give it a like, subscribe, check out this other video on screen, and I'll see you all next time.